You are Locked On Rockets Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Who are these Houston Rockets? Well, I'll tell you what they are. They are a team that finds a way to get victories. Even if they look like they are going to slip up late, they still find a way to get things done. And it's another solid overall win for the Rockets tonight. Hello, my name is Michael Connor. I am your host of the Locked On Rockets Postcast. If you're new to this channel, thanks for stopping by. You've heard me for years on your radio. Now we are here on Locked On every single night when a Houston team gets done. And tonight we got a lot of things to get into. The overall win, some of the bad things that you did see in it when it comes to the slipping up. That's one of the themes of the season so far. I want to talk about the Terror Twins because those two guys I feel like have been a constant on this show as we've gone through the season. And Alperen Sengun's defensive improvement. We'll also take a look at the next game against this Clippers team that you'll play again on Friday night. A lot to get to, and we'll get to it all over the next 25 to 30 minutes with you here on the Locked On Rockets Postcast. Again, thank you for being here tonight. Tonight's episode, by the way, is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. So let's go through the end of the game first to kind of start things off. Now, do I love when you go out in the fourth quarter and you get a commanding lead and the Clippers head coach, for whatever reason, Tyronn Lue, decides that former Rockets player, by the way, and it was so weird seeing Jeff Van Gundy back on the sidelines tonight for another team. It's been so long. He's an assistant now for Ty Lue. But he just decided in the middle of that, by the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter, I'm going to empty my bench, and I'm going to play guys that didn't even play tonight. He literally emptied his bench, emptied it, and look what happened. The Clippers went on a run, and they got it down to a 2-possession game. So do I love that? No. Do I love that the Rockets, went from their group that played with high energy to the mostly starters again that came back in and didn't play with the same energy? No, I didn't love it. But what I do love is that they won. They found their way to a win. And they could have kind of curled up and, forgotten about it tonight. The way that the Clippers came out tonight, they were red hot. I mean, James Harden made his, first 4 shots of the game. The guy had 12 points in the first 7 minutes of the game. Had 7 the rest of the night. Hate to see it. But they could have just kind of, oh man, well, look at the Clippers tonight. We can't do this. They battled through it. And I think that even if there is a trend to the early part of the season that I have noticed, we've noticed a lot of trends so far. First of all, I've talked about it a lot. I feel like they're finding their identity. They are going to play hard-nosed. But look, tonight's game, on the defensive end of the basketball, it looked like it was going to be a rough night defensively. I mean, they gave up what in the first half? 52, 54 points in the first half? They ended up holding the Clippers to 103. They held the Clippers in the second half to 47 points overall. That's good. You go out there and do that. I feel like they've shown that identity. I feel like they have shown their ability at times offensively to be a team that is, fast and tough to guard when it comes to that. But I also feel like they've shown a trend at not holding on to leads. And look, overall, basketball, it's a game of runs. You're never going, it's rare to play the game where you come out and build a 20-point lead and basically keep it there the entire night, right? The substitutions, the different units that come in and whatnot, it changes. And I think that is the other trend that I have noticed. The difference between the Rockets starting group and the second group, the bench brigade. I'm not saying that the starters don't play with energy. I just think that you can tell the difference. The second unit gets out and runs a lot more. The second unit gets out and brings a little bit more energy with it. I think that they're a better team at times when they play with that second unit. Now, look, there are better players that are in the starting lineup. I get that. But lately, the trend has been the second unit has been the superior unit on this team. You know, it's really the two guys off the bench that have stepped up in the biggest way. It's Tari Eason and it's Amen Thompson, as they have been dubbed now, the Terror Twins. Those two guys, the energy that they come in and play with is infectious. Like, you just see it. They're on it with everything. First of all, it all starts, and this is why I know that Amen Thompson has his deficiencies offensively still. And I listened to his quick pre or post game interview where, he was asked about his 3-point shooting or his shooting ability in general. And he was like, "Is that the most threes I've hit in a game? 2?" Is he ever going to be a knockdown shooter? Who knows? You work enough at something and put in the hours, you're going to get better results eventually, right? That's usually how it goes in life. And I have loved from day one the mindset of an Amen Thompson. And I love the style of play. He's a perfect player for what Ime Udoka wants to do. He wants to be in your grill. He wants to play hard defense all night. And Amen Thompson does that. He is a defensive-minded, do all the little things minded player is what Amen Thompson is. And the same can be said for Tari Eason. He plays that same way. He might not be the most skilled offensive player. He might not be the biggest, I shouldn't say that. He had a posterize of Nick Batum tonight. But he might not be like the most freakish athlete or the most, whatever the word you want to give him is. He is a very good athlete. I think he's a really good athlete. Obviously, you play in the NBA. But, I think we're watching his game start to develop. And those two guys tonight, each 18 points each off the bench. Incredible. This isn't everything, but you just go look at the difference. And this is always a stat that can be skewed. But tonight, I think in tonight's game, it tells a massive difference of what I'm talking about here. You go look at the plus-minus category of the starters versus the bench guys. I'll run through the starters real quick. Jabari Smith -3. Dylan Brooks +6. So I thought Dylan Brooks played a really good game tonight. Alpi Sengun, I thought he played a really good game tonight overall. But he was a -18. Fred Van Vliet, -10. Jalen Green, -10. Then you go to that bench group. Tari Eason, +19. Amen Thompson, +17. Jock Landale, +26. Reed Shepard, +13. The game was won tonight because of the bench. And I really enjoy that. I think that says a lot for where they're at. I think it says a lot for the development of this franchise as well, for this team in general. Whether or not you can sustain this level of play for an entire season, so much of it is built upon the depth that you have. And right now they got a good, my nose is itching. They got a good, solid 9-man rotation. And they can run it to 10, but they don't need 2 big men every night. Landale's going to play on and off with Steven Adams and whatnot. Occasionally you might see Aaron Holiday get a little bit of run, but Jayshawn Tate's not going to play. Jeff Green's not going to play. Jack McVay's not going to play. They've got some depth. They've got some quality depth that they can count on. And they've got quality in terms of their 2 best players off that bench being young guys that are taking a step forward. Throughout this entire process that this franchise has had to get back to being a winner, it's nights like these where you have Tari Eason and Amen Thompson go out there and just do everything. That reminds you that watching players develop in front of your eyes is a lot of fun. And look at both of them. So I didn't even mention, on top of the 18 points, they both crushed the boards. Tari had 10. Amen had 11. Tari had 2 blocks, a steal, and assist. Amen had 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. These guys are going to play their way into, I'm telling you, maybe not this year, but at some point you're going to look at both of them and go, I got to play them starters minutes every night. Amen got him tonight, 34. Tari Eason's close, 26. But they've become that important for this Rockets team. And to sustain this level of success this season, you're going to need them. Like you're going to need certain things on the defensive end of the basketball from a big man. I want to talk about the big man defense that we've seen out of Alperen Sengun, who has been vastly improved this season. We'll talk about that in just a brief second right here on the Locked On Rockets postcast following another win, 111-103 over those Los Angeles Clippers. All right, let's get in on the action. Get ready to tackle all the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place your live bets on the NFL. It's all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Locked On Rockets postcast. Following a 111-103 win over the Los Angeles Clippers, the first of two straight against this Los Angeles team. We'll take a look at the next one here in just a bit, how you can repeat this performance that you had tonight in the victory. Hi, I'm your host, Michael Connor. If you're new to this channel tonight, thank you for stopping by and giving us a look. Appreciate that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button while you are there. Come on back. Hang out with us. See us. We do a lot of things on this channel. We will have Rockets again Friday night. I believe we have Cougars football Friday night as well, but I will say this, that we will be doing the Rockets game that night. Yeah, we'll be doing both that night. Cougars play Friday night at 9:15. Late night. Let's go. We got two of them. I forgot it was a late game in Arizona. So, again, Cougars football, Rockets basketball, Texans football, and then, of course, the Astros as well when they get back into action. If you're looking for this show when it comes to the podcast form of it, the audio version, make sure you go and search for Locked On Rockets anywhere that you get your podcast. You're going to get two shows. That's right. One feed, two shows. You get this show, which is the live reaction show as soon as the game ends with me, Michael Connor. Your daily podcast for the Rockets, which is hosted by Jackson Gatlin. He does a fantastic job. Seriously, go and check him out and the daily Rockets content from him. Real quick, before we get into Alperen Sengun, I wanted to just appreciate the comments in here. Rockets are so frustrating because they always blow leads. Ayush, I understand that. And we talked about that a little bit if you're just coming into the show. One of the trends this season that the Rockets have been very good at building some leads and letting them go. Now, this isn't just a Rockets thing. I don't want to completely go over the top on them because it is, you go watch an NBA game, like I mentioned, every team's going to make a run at someone. But I will say, to me, it is one of the issues that I see that you can't keep relying every night that you'll just build a lead and then you'll have a big enough lead to where you blow it a little bit, the other team doesn't come back and beat you. That would be a problem. Have they done that? Not really. And they've done a pretty good job on the other end of it when they've been down of bouncing back and being the team that makes the run. The Golden State game recently is one that sticks out quite a bit that, they looked like they were down and out in that basketball game. And then they came roaring back and, that's still one of those ones to me that you look at and you go, man, you should have won that basketball game. But you didn't. You didn't win that basketball game. You have to live with it. You move on. That's exactly what they've done. But it would be nice, if they didn't cough up. I'm not saying that they have to hold a 19, like they have a 19-point lead. You don't have to hold the 19-point lead forever, but keep it double digits. It ended up, being what, 8 points tonight. That's fine. I would assume it's a cover. I shouldn't say I would assume. That's got to be a cover because the Rockets are probably. Oh wow, I didn't realize the Rockets are 4.5-point favorites tonight. Well, they covered. So congrats to those of you out there with a little bit of action on that basketball game. Alperen Sengun's defense. I wanted to mention that. Last couple of times out, and really overall this season, his scoring hasn't been, where it was last season. And last season he was up, 21 points per game. Tonight he only popped in 13 points, but 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks. I think we're watching, kind of like I'm talking about, Amin and Tari off the bench. I kind of fall into this trap as well with Sengun. I forget that, this is year 4 of his NBA career, but he is also just 22 years old. And clearly there was a challenge put forward to him, in the offseason. And I still think that he's going to end up getting back closer to that 20 points. And not that the 20 points per night means anything. It's an arbitrary number. But you'd like to be a 20 and 10 guy, right? Who wouldn't? But I think that clearly he's been challenged on, you need to be a more defensive force. And I think that we're starting to watch that. Number one, defense in the NBA, yes, skill mat. They're all so insanely skilled. They're all so insanely athletic. Defense, number one, to me, always has been and always will come down to one thing more than anything else: effort. Effort. Look, the Rockets played a guy tonight that we all know very well across the way, James Harden. For years, we looked past the lack of effort on the defensive end overall. I mean, look, we didn't overlook it in the playoffs, but we overlooked it for a long period of time because of the offensive output. And I think that for all of us as fans, it kind of wore us down, right? I know it did for me. It might not have you, but it did for me. Like, I wanted to get back to watching a basketball team that had players on it that played with defensive effort. And that's what we're seeing with Alpi so far. Michael, you're absolutely right here. That final sequence was absolutely fantastic. And we're seeing a lot more of that out of him so far this season. And I think that stuff matters. I think that's why you go and give a 5-year, $185 million contract to a player, because you believe in them. You believe in the work ethic and the skill set there. Look, Alpi's always going to be a little bit challenged with the way that he is able to guard people. He's not the most fleet of foot guy. He's got great footwork, but he's not the most fleet of foot athlete. He's not a quick center. He's not going to be able to go out and, chase guys all over the place. That's okay. But if he can develop into being a true rim protector on top of the skill set that he has offensively, that's a massive, massive coup for the Rockets. And we're seeing some of those signs now. I mean, the blocks tonight, multiple of them. Zubac, he might as well have just been David Robinson circa 1994 out there when it comes to Hakeem guarding him. It was impressive, and it's been impressive. And he, like a lot of these guys on this team, and it helps that they're young. There's no other way around it. Some of these guys will be, they'll get later in their career and they'll stop playing defense. Is what they do. But right now, they're all young. They're all feisty. They all want to get out there and do it every night. And I'm appreciating the level of effort. And that gets back to my overall feelings about the guy that they got to lead the charge in Ime Udoka. He matters as well. That's instilled that work ethic that you have to have. Offense will come for everybody. But the defensive, setting the tone the way that they have defensively early in the season. And also for Alpy, too, he becomes less of a liability for you. If he can do these things defensively, think about last year. How many times will the Rockets be down in games or up in games where they just need defense? And late in the game, and he's one of their best offensive options because he can get anything that he wants at the rim. His footwork, his moves are incredible. And how many times last season were the Rockets pulling him out of games late? And look, tonight was one of those games that a year ago, you're pulling him out of. Tonight, you're not. And he plays 30 minutes in the basketball game. It's a sign of growth. I'm very happy with it. And I know that you guys are as well because the Rockets keep on winning. We'll take a look at the next one. How do you repeat this performance against this Clippers team? The NBA Cup starts on Friday for the Rockets. We'll talk about that here in just a brief second on the Locked On Rockets Postcast. All right, guys, I want to tell you about Mint Mobile. With big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets. With Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 per month, go to mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. That's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Hi, sorry, I'm parched. Just give me a second. I have to rehydrate. Talking, it's just a very hard thing. That's why I always keep this very large jug of water. Hi, welcome back to the Rockets Postcast. I'm Michael Connor, your host. Wow, I hope you guys couldn't hear that notification I just got on my computer in my ear because that was really loud. The Rockets win tonight, 111-103 over the Clippers. If you're new to our channel, please hit that subscribe button. Come on back. See us again. I really appreciate you guys joining us like you do, subscribing to the channel, supporting the channel. We're going to be with you again Friday night after the Rockets and the Clippers. We're going to be with you Friday night after the U of H Cougars football against the Arizona Wildcats. We're going to be with you actually Monday's up in the air for me. The Texans show will be live with Wade Smith and maybe another host Monday night. We're working all that out. I don't know my schedule just yet. Chance I might be there. I'll let you guys know. We will see about that one. But again, like I mentioned, the Rockets will take on these Clippers again on Friday. It's always weird. Now, it'll be our first chance to take a look at the Rockets playing in the NBA Cup, which, I don't hate this NBA Cup thing. I think that there are people out there. I think that there are people that think it's silly. I will say the one thing about it is that they do this in the season and then they don't change the amount of games. I love NBA basketball. I've said this for 10 years. God, that makes me feel so old when I can say that because I've been in the media for 10 years. I was in the media for 11 years, 12 years, whatever it was. They play too many games in the NBA. There's too many games in the regular season. And it wouldn't even be a problem if they played this many games. You know what the real problem is that they let too many teams in the playoffs. That is the real issue of the NBA. It's just too many teams make the playoffs. Simple as that. But they've added this NBA Cup, which they're basically mimicking. If any of you watch, which I hope some of you do watch, whether it's Premier League soccer, La Liga, any of the European soccer leagues. I'm a Premier League guy myself. I don't know if you could see it all that well back here, but that's my look, my Chelsea. It's my Chelsea badge from last year when I was I was over there. I did a stadium tour one day, and then I went to a game the next day. But they took from that to try and juice up some competitiveness and have other teams be able to play. I think it's a great idea. I really do. Overall, you do see the difference. We did see a difference, I thought, last year in the way the guys played and how hard they played in it. And I enjoy that. I think it's great. I don't, again, love the fact that it doesn't change the composition of your regular season at all. I wish it did. But that's okay. And I'm going to get my one other complaint out of the way now. This is so old, man. Get off my lawn. The courts are horrible. I hate the courts. I know that you want to do something special for it, which you should. Look, the Rockets on Friday night are going to rip out a red court. I think a red court looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. I thought last year's looked terrible. I was watching the highlights earlier. They showed the Celtics last night. That green thing, looking at that for the Knicks court that's blue or whatever. I can't do it, man. I have a hard time watching the Boise State football with the blue field. Maybe I'm just old. I've got great eyes, but it just bugs them. And okay, I'll move on. Playing this Clippers team again Friday night. Look, the Clippers, and I think it's funny. I mentioned this the other day in the show when we were talking about this game coming up tonight that, hey, the Rockets will probably score a lot. They're playing the Clippers. And I got a comment in one of our the video comments, like, what are you guys talking about? The Clippers are a great defensive team. And he's like, they're like number 3 in defense. It's like, what? Okay, sure, I guess. Whatever you want to think. Rockets will score. The Rockets will do fine against the Clippers defensively or whatever they bring defensively. The question is going to be can you repeat that? Can you repeat the second quarter and third quarter? For 4 quarters, they should beat this Clippers team. Harden is a shell of his former self. And the guy, he can still okie dokie with a great handle, but he's got no speed to burn by anybody anymore. And I got to say, watching him tonight, I went into last offseason expecting them to bring him back because it just felt like, okay, they're just going to bring him home. I am so thankful that they did not do that. I don't want to watch that again. I just don't. And he's not their problem anymore. Rockets energy level, they play with that energy level again. Friday night, they're going to walk away with a victory. Simple as that. Again, appreciate you guys for stopping by for this one. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Come on back Friday night for our second straight game of Rockets Clippers right here on the Locked On Rockets Postcast. Y'all enjoy the rest of your, what day is today? Wednesday night. We'll see you.